Welcome back, everybody. Today we're playing on Hell's Haven. We're going to be going through all the rocket spots on this map, one way or another. Whenever you're getting out of this map, make sure to boost off the door. Very easy to do so. You can also super boost off this rock. When you're coming to this choke, what you're going to want to do is either put your beacon in one of two places. You can either put it right here, which is a great way to just completely separate it from anybody who might be looking for it. Setting the beacon up here. Now this one is especially good for if you have flankers coming in through this little area right here, because they tend to just go around and like, whoa, a beacon, and then they'd shoot it normally. But gamers don't look up, so that being there is very good. Coincidentally, you can also sit here and heal from this spot. It's a very nice little ledge. Then again, this map is it's kind of creative mode for Rocket, because look, you can just continuously wall climb on these pillars, and then these pillars actually come out of the ground as the map progresses, and you have even more things to kind of jump and fly around on. But anyways, the other side of the map is basically the same thing. It's completely mirrored. Same spot, you can reach it. Bleh. One of the underrated spots for a beacon, if you're going to want to hide it, is probably back here. Because the thing is, no one really comes around here. And no one's really expecting the beacon to be back here either. So a lot of times, I like to just hide it in one of these little crevices back here. And it's not too far from points, 40 meters, so you have like 10 meters wiggle room of either side for people to get rezzed on. Honestly, if you're playing on this map, I recommend being up here the entire time. This is probably the best spot for you. Because now with Rocket's buffs, you can kind of just perma-bounce the balls around this little area. Yeah, if you're gonna be playing Rocket on this map, you're either going to want to have a good line of sight, possibly from up here on your team, you know, doing that and whatnot, or you're gonna want to be from right up here. Have good eyesight. You have good peel for yourself, because if anyone tries to attack you, you know, say coming from this side, you can just kind of, you're pretty safe. And this will open up. This little wall will slide open. Okay, perfect. So these are destructible, but they instantly become more of a playground for Rocket to hide behind and use as cover. The gates just opened. So now people actually have access to come up here, come here, and mess with you. And that's kind of when you rotate just down here. Or in here, because if you follow some of the dynamic map elements and you know what it's going to be doing, you can get ahead of a lot of people. So there are a lot of places you can sit here. Like you could sit right here. Someone's probably going to destroy this eventually. Oh, I move to the next one. I'm Rocket. I can just do that. And you can always rely on these pillars as like a suitable escape method. They're pretty good at it. Other than that, I'd say if you're like being pushed or pushing, the best place you can probably put a beacon is probably up here. Just because people won't look for it at all. Like, it's up there. Most people are just going to be like, and trying to kill you here, and like, where's that beacon? It's up. Anyways, this map is pretty straightforward. Let's go on to the next one. Just like the other map, you're going to want to use these walls to get out faster. They're very easy to use. You can go over here if you want to go to the flank. And if you're not utilizing Rocket's dash correctly, this does nothing. What you need to do is you need to be attached to a wall when you launch off. And it makes the game so much better, so much more playable. But the thing is, when you launch off of something, it takes it in the direction that you're currently running and facing. So you need to really plan ahead. Like, if you're running this way, you're going to go to the right. But if you go around the bend of this little object at an angle, you're gonna shoot off at an angle. So you kind of have to time it. Like, yeah, if you're going that way, you kind of have to shoot off as soon as you round the corner if you want to go straight. But anyways, yeah, use map geometry to get here faster, so you can throw your beacon faster. And usually, this is where I put mine when we first set up. Unless they have super spam, like Moon Knight, Squirrel Girl coming through here, then you'd want to put it, like, over there or something. Okay, so when you're on this map, you're gonna want to be doing this most of the time. Because the balls will bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is insane healing. You only get interrupted by these little moving barricades. But most of the time, they'll get destroyed. But as things kind of just regenerate and move, you kind of just want to move with it. Anyway, the first rocket spot I'm going to show you is something only Rocket can do. He's the only character that can get up in this this little area. And I find this to be especially useful whenever your team is holding up at their side, because you can kind of just be off at an angle, and if they have someone like a Hela in there, they're just probably spam shooting at your other support that's down there. But here, they can't headshot you. They can only body shot you if they're looking at you. And you're genuinely pretty hard to see. This map has 4 pillars, these ones, and they are perfect for kiting and escaping on. You can heal, you can reposition, you can do all of that. Very easy way for Rocket to escape people. Or if you want to challenge flyers, this is also a very great way to get up to them. One of the more underrated spots that no one's really looked at on this map would be placing your beacons out here. If everyone's just maintaining the choke, they're most likely not going to see that. Yeah, you would have no idea. The pillar blocks line of sight of this little corner. You literally have to be going out from that way to see it. And it's vice versa with this side. You kind of change sides depending on where they're coming out from. If they're coming out from this side, you want to put it right here. If they're coming out from this side, you want to put it over here, because the pillars block line of sight of that flank. As long as you trust that gamers don't look up, they're great spots. The tried and true method, barely anyone comes over here. Like literally, barely anyone comes over here. So I would say my most used spot is probably something like this, because it prevents people, if they're up here, just like going for a flank, it prevents them from actually seeing it, and it's very close to the point. But then again, you know, some weirdos just love going outside the map. They love flanking around, like heavy flanks. So you kind of got to get a feel for what you're going against in order to have a good spot. And if you're thinking about like maybe putting your beacon up here, I find this to be actually one of the more common spots for people to flank into. Like an Iron Fist or a Cap or a flying character will tend to just invade the enemy's little opening here, and they will just hop in and try to flank down through here, and if they see a beacon sitting right there, they'll be like, oh, beacon, beacons for me. If you're ever getting hard pushed out either door, you can kind of just put it there and no one will really go for it. There's a lot of great spots to just like sit a beacon when you're aggressing, like right here as well. You can just kind of put them up on boxes or around corners and no one will usually contest them. But when you're first going to this point, you're going to want to throw your beacon probably like right here. Great place to aggress from. It's got great coverage. It's very close to the fight. I think, actually, I'm convinced that there's a rocket spot down here that I remember. And I need to... Yeah. Okay. So, this is a very situational rocket spot, I'd say. Because it's very hard to get a lineup on anyone, but it's also very hard for them to come get you out of here. And I believe you can do that on either side. I mean, it's not broken because your line of sight is so heavily cut off. But it's just a little interesting little spot for Rocket to be. I imagine you can do a lot of trickery here. You can do a lot of zooming around. Anyway, on to the next map. So these three maps, these three domination maps, they are very small, but they have a lot of gimmicky spots. And they almost always have a way to boost out of spawn like that. And that makes them very good for Rocket. Try to throw your beacon from down here, up over there. Very good, safe location. This would be how you're supposed to jump up, but most characters can't jump on these boxes. You can kind of just use this little ramp to trespass yourself from place to place. You can use this in the middle bit to kite very effectively. It blocks almost all line of sight from each side. So Rocket can really just be doing this and stalling for his team for a long time. You don't contest point from up here, but you do distract enemies and you do heal yourself quite a bit by just doing this. I'm going to show you the best spot to actually put Rocket's beacon on this map. I'm pretty sure this was in some of my older videos. If you're coming out through this side, right here, enemies coming out through that side, over there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over here and place your beacon there. And yes, you are allowed to be up here provisionally. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you can even slide yourself all the way back here and heal from way out over here. And if you're on enemy side and you're doing this, the chances of you being spotted are very low, especially if they're holding chokes. But if for some reason someone comes around and starts looking at you, you can literally just do this. And suddenly you're safe. And you're up here. You can actually stick yourself right here as well. And you can just kind of wait out whoever's looking at you from the other side. And this spot right here, this little ledge, is where most people are starting to learn where they can set up. If you're a Punisher main or a Loki main, you can put your turret or your clones right here and back there. Not the Punisher turret, but the Loki clones can go back there and right here. Punisher turrets can go on either of these little platforms, and you can set up some pretty nasty angles. As far as Rocket goes, I mean, this map might be literally creative mode for Rocket. I mean, look at this. You have such free reign to just be all the way over here while the team fight's happening. And you have so much escape potential. Having this wall to hide behind on either side is immense. And you can do it all while healing. You can easily just slide around up here from cover, occasionally peeking and orbing. It's a pretty great strat. Okay, so when you hit 50% on the capture meter from either side, and you see those warning lights flash, the map's moving. Sometimes when this map moves, it will break your beacon. It didn't just now, and I'm very confused why. Just be careful when you're playing on this map specifically, because sometimes when your beacon's up here and the map moves, it can break, but it's only sometimes, not all the time. It's very finicky. But if it does happen, your beacon will just be delayed by 5 seconds. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, this has been another Rocket Spot video on Hell's Haven. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things so I can continue doing this. Because my motivation is a 0 until I see 1 like, and then I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to make more videos. Yeah, if you want a certain Rocket thing covered, if you want another guide, if you want this or that, whatever. Just let me know in the comments section exactly what you would like, and I can probably tailor a video to that. Matchup guides, play styles, you know, what to play into, how to play against something. Just let me know.